Good afternoon, everyone. I hope of us are online. A few of them will work. Was this later on? Today's topic, as we know that we have already given, we are going to discuss today on the topic of if you have an e-commerce website or you are selling on e-commerce websites like Amazon or Shopify or any you're using it. So today's topic is related to if you have it on your e-commerce and your product photographs have been copied, have been used by your competitors, then what exactly are the steps which you can take, and what are some of the case studies that we are looking into also, and how you can stop this, because your products, your photographs, and you are the owner of it, right? And someone using it is an infringement. They should not use it. If they want to use, they have to get their own product. They have to shoot their own photographs, right? So with this, we have an expert in our team today who is going to give us more insight of how we are going to take care of our rights in this dilemma whenever we are in situations like this. So with us from the Lex Protector team, from the LexDMCa team, we have Sagar Swarup Swain today, who is going to go through or make us through all this know-how of the basic things that you need to know for what you need to do in this situation, right? So I'll introduce Sagar, as he has been there for last almost 2 years with us, working together, and has a very has done his LLM, and also his is going through day to day, every day. He takes care of like 10-15 cases in terms of in a month, like 50 cases in terms of DMCA. He takes care of, and he has a very vast knowledge in this field. So it's up to you, Sagar, to take us through this topic today. Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. So today our topic is to discuss about infringement that has been happening in e-commerce websites where your products and your images are being copied and being used by competitors. Okay. So as you know, any image or product that you create is your own property, and other people should not be allowed to use it without your permission. So as you'll be aware, there is a lot of infringement that is happening nowadays, and with the advent of e-commerce, it has become a lot more convenient and easy for infringers to commit such offenses, because it is much easier to duplicate things with just a copy and paste action. As you can see, we have given an example in the first slide itself, with the Adidas logo being copied and misrepresented in order to sell fake products and counterfeit items. And as we go through this presentation, if you have any questions that you want to ask relating to this topic, you can ask us in the comment section, and we'll get back to you after the presentation is over. Now, so there are particularly 3 different types of infringement that commonly occur in e-commerce websites. So there is copyright infringement. So that constitutes of infringement of your original content, which is product images, the illustration that you provide with your listings, the descriptions that you provide of your particular product, that may be copied by infringers and be used to sell their product. So we should not let these kind of things go continue to go like that. So we should act on those. And the second kind that we see a lot of is trademark infringement, where your brand name and your trademark that you have registered is being used without your permission or your approval. It's being used to market somebody else's product, or being used without the permission of your like taking permission from you. Another kind of infringement that we see is design patent infringement. So if you have a particular unique design that you have created, and other people are going to use it, then you will not derive the benefit from that particular design. Okay, so these are the major kinds of infringements. Next, we'll learn about what kinds of offenses are being committed through infringement. Okay, so the first one is counterfeit products. So like the example I gave in the first slide, with Adidas being misrepresented as Adidas and selling products to consumers at a cheaper rate of a fake product, which is not up to the quality of the original manufacturer. So that kind of things happen quite a lot nowadays, where in online marketplaces, it's more difficult to verify the authenticity of the product just through images. So that is one of the major problems that we are seeing right now. Then the second kind can be anti-competitive pricing. So you as a creator of the product have said that my product is going to be sold for this particular amount of pricing. So if somebody is selling that, like undercutting that particular pricing, then that creates a very anti-competitive space for that particular product. So that is also a very negative thing for the product and the market. And the third thing that we notice is misusing of the brand image. So it's like using your marks that you should be using, and it should be used with your permission. They're using it to sell their own products. They're trying to market a different product with the use of your brand name. And the fourth kind that we see is reselling without authorization. So you may not have given that seller the permission to sell those products. They may just be a middleman. They do not have the right to sell those products, but they do. So that is also a kind of offense that we have to protect against. Then the fifth kind that we see is selling of parallel imported goods. So as we know, every country has different restrictions, and a particular product may only be certified to be sold in one particular country. There are some people who bulk import such products and sell it in another country where it is not permitted, it is not allowed. So that is also an offense that we have to look out for. Now we'll look at a few case studies that we have worked on, and we have removed such infringements. Okay, this is the first case study that we have. So on the left, if you see the infringing product, and the right, there's the original product. The infringer in this case was copying the design and the aesthetic of the original product and recreating it in a poorer quality and selling it as the original product on Amazon. So the client reached out to us to get this infringer removed, and we filed a notice with Amazon, and eventually we took down the infringing listing that was there on Amazon. So now if you see the before image of the infringing product and the after image after we worked on the case and got the infringement removed, the product listing is no more on Amazon. Okay. So this was in particular a design patent infringement case, where they had a particular design that they had done and it was being misused by another party trying to pass it off as an original product without the permission of the owner. Now we'll see another case study. So in this case, you'll see that the product is same of a disco ball, where you can use as a plant or hanger. And in this case, not only the product, the exact images of the original creator were directly copied and used. If you see, these are identical images that are being used here. So the client reached out to us in this case, and we filed a case with the website that was selling this infringing product. So this is Beautify View, a website that they are selling the infringing product, and we got the listing removed, and currently that listing is not up anymore. And we got a apology letter from the infringing party as well, saying that it was their mistake and they will not be repeating such kind of activities going further. Okay. Next. So now that we know what kinds of infringement can happen, and we have seen a few examples of the kind of infringement that commonly happen here, we can see of how to protect ourselves from such infringements. Okay. So one of the first ways to do it is a digital timestamping. So every time you upload a content, a particular content, image of your product, or a description or an illustration of your product, it is important for you to put a timestamp of when it was uploaded, when it was accessible to the public, so that you have digital evidence of that you were the prior owner, you were the first one to use that particular content. Okay. So this becomes very important in cases such as this, where it is not at first sight, it is not clear who the first owner is. So if you already have a digital stamp on when the content was used, you have an upper hand that you can show evidence that you are the legitimate owner here. The second step you can take is watermark your images. So all of you know watermarks that you can put in your images. So when you're posting images or descriptions or photos of the product that you want to sell, if you include a mark of your company, then it will be very helpful to you. It will be helpful to the consumer so that they can know that this is the correct company that is selling the product. And any infringer that does want to infringe on your content will be aware that even if I do copy it, anybody can see that it is somebody else's content. So that becomes a deterring factor for any infringer to copy your content. Okay. Then what additional things we can do? So copyright registration is a very important aspect in this case. When you're taking images, you're writing illustrations, you're writing descriptions, or like how to use your product and all of those things, then you can get all of those registered as a copyright, and you can get a government certified registration. So that is one of the most strongest evidence that you can have in case any dispute arises of who is the prior owner, who is the original owner in this case. Okay. You can also do trademark registration. If you have a company that has been selling multiple products and you have a particular mark that you use to sell your product and have the consumers identify that particular product, you should register your trademark even before you make your products public. Even before you go to the market to sell your particular product, it is very important that you register your trademark, and your products, your descriptions and your content should carry that particular trademark with them, so that even if an infringer is trying to copy, they know that you have a proper registration and documentation from the government that you are the original owner. That will be also a deterrent. Then if all of these were before any infringement happens, so we are trying to prevent any infringement that is there. So we are trying to set up deterrence that people do not try to infringe. And then if infringement does happen, if somebody is copying, then what do? We can do infringement report. So anytime you come across a product or a listing that is infringing on your content or your rights, they're using your images, they're using your descriptions, then you can report those infringing contents. If it is a marketplace, you can directly report there. Or if you want to know that if anybody is copying, you can do a search also if anybody is directly copying from you. And after that, you can also take help of lawyers. So our firm specifically deals with intellectual property, and we deal with cases such as this, and we and our firm will help you in ensuring that your rights are safe and protect them from any kinds of infringement. And if infringement is happening, then we'll help you take those infringements down so that it does not continue to occur. Okay. So we have the basic idea currently of what kind of infringements can happen. We have seen a few case laws of how we have taken down infringements and what kind of steps you can take as a content owner, as a content creator, in order to protect and enforce your particular right. So currently, if any of you have any questions, then you can ask and we'll answer you right now.
Sagar, we have a question.
Yes.
From Tanaya. So her question is how to register trade dress.
How to register?
Trade dress.
Okay. So the procedure for registration of that kind is similar to that of trademark. So you have to first make sure that the mark that you want to register is unique, first of all, that it is not matching with an already existing mark that somebody else is using. And then after you have done your due diligence in order to search that it is not being used anywhere else, then you can apply for a registration with the in the country where you are operating from, your base country. So you can apply for registration, and in the ideal world, if there is no objection as such from other parties, then it should be a straightforward affair of you getting your registration. But in registration of any kind, there is a period that is given to the public where anybody can object to your registration. So in case that happens, then you will have to provide clarifications and justifications of why your mark is unique and why you are not using somebody else's mark. After you have clarified and justified that to the required agencies, then you should be able to get your trademark registered. Any further questions?
Okay, we have one more question. How many days does it take to take down infringing materials, and how to search about such violations?
Okay, so in case where you want to take down any infringing content, it varies from website to website. So if we consider, say, Amazon, if an infringement is happening on Amazon, Amazon is very prompt with removal of any kind of infringement, and they have a dedicated team which looks into infringement. So they are very prompt. So on filing for an infringement, it usually takes around 24 to 48 hours for Amazon to take down the infringing content, and they'll send the notice to the infringing party in order to ask them for any justification of why they are infringing, or if they're infringing or not. Okay, so but if it is a dedicated site, then depending on the kind of team they have set up for infringement, it may take from like 3 to 4 days to around a week for removal of infringement on e-commerce websites. And for searching of where infringement is taking place, you can use popular e-commerce websites that are there. You can check there, or you can do a normal public search on, say, Google or Bing or any search engine to bring up any search results that match your product exactly. So that may help you get any infringing content that is there.
Okay, we have one more question from Chirag. How well equipped is our system to safeguard the inevitable duplication
and counterfeit practice. So a little bit more information he has given. Is this really a concern for the big market players like the one you have mentioned, for example, Adidas, given its stalled reputation and reach among the people of current digital era, wherein they are more informed and aware?
Okay, so currently, if we see DMCA, as we know, was initiated in USA, and they are. If we currently see the situation right now, they are very effective in taking down infringing content through DMCA. Because even though all countries are very digitally connected right now, a majority of them still are situated in USA, and they do follow laws from US. And with the they have most websites and hosting providers have set up their cells for infringement analysis and for takedown of infringement. So they have set up designated agents for websites and hosting companies who look into cases of infringement, and if anybody is alleging any infringement happening. So with that aspect, it is quite, the current scenario is quite equipped, though there is scope for improvement, but it is quite adequate as of now. And if we talk about big players in the market, such as Adidas or say Nike or say Reebok with counterfeit products, so a majority of time they are not very active with pursuing infringement in a very small scale. But it is recommended always to, even if there is a slight infringement, you should enforce your right. You should not let a small thing become big later on. So they may not be acting on it now because the scale of the sale of infringing products are very low. But when there is a majority stake that comes up in the market where these counterfeit products are harming the reputation of the company, or the amount of sales they are doing is quite significant, then the companies do step in and they enforce their right and stop the infringers from continuing to do such work.
Just to add on, some of the companies like Amazon also have this brand registry or Project Zero, which takes care of bigger companies like this to reduce the infringement, reduce the counterfeit goods online. So we come to an end for today's discussion, and thank you everyone for joining the session and going through it. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us or write us down on the comment section. We'll surely get back to you. Thank you for joining. We'll also conduct more sessions in the coming days, most probably in Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Thank you for joining.